Howdy y'all, thank you for joining us today for this unboxing of Marvel Champions the card game, the Wasp Hero Pack. As you can see here, it's a 60 card hero pack. It has a complete pre-built Wasp deck. This is like a starter deck basically. It has 31 new cards that can be added to any hero deck. And a nemesis getting featured is the Larcenous Beetle. So this is this expansion for the base game of Marvel Champions, the card game. I've got a few playthroughs on the video with it, so you can check those out on the channel, I should say. And as soon as we get done opening this, we're actually going to pop it open and play it exactly as is against Rhino and see how it plays. Well, let's pop it open and see what's inside. Normally there's a seal here. They make it to where you can tell if it's been tampered with or not. I've already cut that seal just so we can get right in. So what's normally in here is a pack of cards, sealed up. And you want to look underneath this little flap. It's usually got the little rule book. It's usually a poster. So that if it doesn't really add anything, you at least get like a nice little poster if you want to add it to your wall or just in general. And then it lets you know what's in here. The foldable cards, which is something that's not immediately new unless you didn't see the Ant-Man. The Ant-Man does have the foldable cards, and we played it, and I found it interesting. We have seen the new keyword, it says here, team up before. I think it was with the Ant-Man deck also. And then the piercing has been in a previous one also, but it's another ability. And then we have some rules clarifications. And then it lets us know, we already know without even popping this open, that this deck is going to be an aggression deck. There are 4 formats that it can be put into. It's going to be aggression, or justice, or protection, or leadership. Those are the 4 ways that these decks can be built or come in. And then there are also the ways you can build them into the future. But let's go ahead and pop this open, take a look at those cards. I'm going to be interested. Aggression is not one of the formats I play that often. I'm usually more of a justice or leadership player. Well, actually, I think protection. I think I play protection more. Aggression is the one I haven't played as much other than with these starters. All right, so right off the bat, it's probably the hero that's going to be the folding card. And as you can see here, we have Wasp here. And she's in her tiny mode. It's a 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 defense. And as a response, after Wasp defeats a minion or side scheme, deal 1 damage to the villain. All right. And then we have Nadia Van Dyne, 3 recovery. Her action is to shuffle up to 2 cards with a printed of one of these resources from your discard pile into your deck. So that's kind of interesting. And then she can turn into a larger card as a hero form, which is Wasp herself. And it's a 2 thwart, 2 attack, 3 defense. And then we saw the stars up there at the top, says threat you remove using your basic thwart power can be divided among schemes as you choose. That's kind of an interesting effect. I mean, threat you remove using your basic, it means you can hit multiple schemes, which there's definitely been times where it's like, oh, well, I'm just going to finish off this scheme, but I would like to have been able to take off a little bit here. That's nice. And then it does the same thing with the damage also, to where you can just kind of go finish off a minion and still hit the bad guy or hit other minions. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Be interesting to play with her. And figured he'd be in here because I believe Wasp was inside the Ant-Man deck. So the first cards we're going to look at are the 15 cards that are unique to the deck. If you play Wasp, you have to have these 15 cards in your deck. So we'll look at them. So we got Ant-Man here. We have Giant Help, Pinpoint Strike, Pinpoint Strike, Pinpoint Strike, Rapid Growth, Wasp Sting, Pim Particles, which are in the Ant-Man deck also, Red Room Training, Biosynthetic Wings, Wasp's Helmet. All right, so now we're into the new cards. So that's the 15 of them. So we're going to see some our new cards, or this is going to be the meat of the deck. It usually has some new cards for aggression and it has some, so it's gonna have a lot more cards for aggression and it's gonna have some new cards for the other aspects of playing. So here we have Jane Foster Thor here is one of the new ones. We have a new Wasp, which is a 0, interesting, but 0 hit points. And then Into the Fray, I believe is a new card to me. Yep, because there's 3 of them here, which is the, so if you want to have all the ones you can't have in your deck. We got Surprise Attack here, I think is new. This one comes in all the aggression decks and usually should be played in all aggression decks. So there's giving you more that way if you play with multiple decks. We got a Boot Camp here, which is new. And a Lie in Wait. And then basics are cards that could be in any deck, no matter what aspect you're playing. So we got Ironheart here as an ally. We have Spider-Man. And then this is one from the, which I think I wanted more of. I'm pretty sure this was inside the Ant-Man, so this gives you more of them. And then these come in usually every deck and you usually want to play with them also. The Power in All of Us is new to me. Okay, so it's basically like the aspect ones, but basically for basics. Interesting. Know why I didn't think of something like that. Quinn Carrier. All right, so then that's pretty much her entire deck. So this is what you would play with. If you want to just play straight out of the box, you could also make changes and whatnot. The next cards are going to be cards that are kind of mandatory for the deck, but they're not going to be mixed into your deck. Like this first one is an obligation. This one is going to get mixed into the bad guy deck, and it's an obligation. It can come up that goes straight to you no matter who draws it. So hers is Red Dreams. And then there's cards that make it to where you have a Nemesis that comes out. And then when the Nemesis comes out, it also usually brings their scheme out too. And this is one of them. This is the scheme for that Nemesis. So if that card comes out, it's basically going to put this scheme into play and you're going to have to deal with it. Mother's Orders. And so this is the Nemesis Beetle. So this will be what comes out with that card. And then it's going to have a few cards that will shuffle into the actual Nemesis deck. In this case, Beetle Armor, MK4, Beetlemania, and Beetlemania. And then it lets you know that this is all you would need. If you were just buying this to play straight up, this is all you would need. The rest of these cards are basically cards that just give it to where if you want to build into another aspect or just to add into your other decks that are maybe the other aspects. So it's always a cool little addition to make these where they are kind of like an expansion pack on top of just giving you a new deck or new character to play. And then backs of this card is usually shows you just in case you want to rebuild this starting deck and let you know what all came in it. All right, so new Justice card, Running Interference. And there's 3 of those. New Leadership card, All for One. And 3 of those. And Perseverance, new Protection card. And all of those, or 3 of those. And then new Basic Athletic Conditioning. And there's 3 of those. All right, like I said, we're going to get this to the table. As a matter of fact, as soon as I get done with this video, I'm going to go ahead and set up and do this deck against the starting deck of Rhino. I am getting tired of playing against it, but it just gives a good baseline. Like that's the basic starting bad guy, so we're going to get that in there. So we'll get this to the table immediately and check it out. Thank you for watching and have a great day.